Namaskar, very warm welcome to all our viewers and learners in this live phone-in session of CIET NCERT. I am Renu Bhatt with you all, and dear learners, you are with us live on eVidya channels from channel number 6 to 12 and on our NCERT official YouTube channel as well. As you know, this is our very special session of webinar, and today is the first Wednesday of the month and we are celebrating Cyber JAAGROOKTA Diwas. So let me share the theme for the month of this month, and the theme is combating cyber crimes. And before you raise your voice against cyber crimes, you should know what exactly cyber crimes are and how you can deal with that. I know you must be having a lot of questions and queries in your mind that you want to share with all our experts. But before that, let me share the topic of the session. The topic is cyber crimes, concept and need for awareness. And dear learners and viewers, if you have any query related to this particular topic, you can call us on our telephone number, that is 8800 Either you can drop a mail at our email address with all your queries and along with your feedback. Our email address is cybersafety@ciet.nic.in. And if you have joined us through our live streaming, that means you are on our NCERT official YouTube channel. You have to go to the live chat box and you have to drop your comment out there. Our expert will be happy to answer all your queries and doubts. So let's quickly meet our expert. Let's meet our expert. You are Dr. Karnita Seth. You are cyber law expert and advocate from Supreme Court of India. Very warm welcome, ma'am.
Namaskar.
And she is an internationally renowned cyber law and IP expert, dear learners, and advocate practicing law before the Supreme Court of India for over 2 decades. And it's our pleasure to have you here in our session, ma'am. And dear learner, before we begin this session, let me give you a very certain information about G20 presidency. We are indeed very proud that India assumed the G20 presidency and will convene the G20's Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in 2023. A nation that deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 Leaders Summit would be a watershed moment in its history, as it seeks to play an important role by finding pragmatic global solution for well-being of all, and in doing so manifest the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or we can say the whole world is one family. So don't forget to connect to us through our various medium. We are expecting your participation, dear learners and viewers. So ma'am, very quickly let's move towards you, and it's very important to know what exactly cyber crimes are, how we can identify that we are in a trap of cyber crimes, and can children also become a target of cyber crime?
Yes, it is a very pertinent topic indeed. And as we understand, when we talk about cybercrime, it is a crime which is committed where either the computers or internet is used as a medium of committing crime, or it is a target of committing crime. And often when we talk about cybercrime, we also know that it can be called as an e-crime or an electronic crime or internet-based crime. So in layman terms, if you understand simplistic terms, cybercrimes is something that we use computers or electronics or IT basically to commit a particular crime, and that can result in some sort of a damage either to property, or it can be a crime against person, like stalking someone, or video voyeurism, or creating MMSs, or sexual harassment. And often children also become a target of these crimes, because criminals, as you'll understand, they very often use anonymity of cyberspace, especially dark web. They are misusing gaming apps. They are using social media to commit various kinds of attacks on children, not only for grooming or child pornography, but also various other issues like malvertising, phishing attacks, which is causing them loss of money also financially, or data theft. And it can also land up in extortion, sextortion, and various other crimes. So it is not that children don't become a target of a crime. Cyber criminals, in fact, they often exploit the vulnerableness and vulnerability of the children because they are unaware, of what crimes can happen or what threats exist online. They often, become victims of cybercrime. So it's important to have these initiatives, and I'm very glad that NCERT is, celebrating this Cyber JAAGROOKTA Diwas, and amongst us. We are very privileged to have Dr. Bal Singh Rajput, also DCP Bombay Police, who has consented to join our panel today, and we'll be hearing more from him and subsequent guests also on the panel. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for your valuable information. As you rightly said, we have joined by our another expert. Let's meet her. You are Dr. Bal Singh Rajput. You are Deputy Commissioner of Police, Cybercrime Mumbai Police, and very warm welcome, sir. And you are a serving police officer in Maharashtra, state police speaker and researcher. He has strategic and technical expertise in the field of cyber security, and we would like to ask a question from you, sir. And let's move towards our question. Sir, where and how can cybercrime be reported and how it's investigated? Please enlighten us, sir. Hello? Rajput, sir, are we audible to you?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah,
yes, sir. So please enlighten us, sir.
Yeah, ma'am, I couldn't get your question.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
please repeat?
Yes, sure, sir.
Yes.
Sure, sir. I just wanted to ask you about the where and how can cyber crimes be reported and how it's investigated. So what is the procedure behind that?
Yeah. Cyber crimes can be reported at a local police station first, but the government of India has provided a special national cybercrime reporting portal. Its domain name is www.cybercrime.gov.in. So this is a specialized portal. It can be, it's not mandatory that you should know your jurisdiction, but from wherever you want to, you can report the cybercrime there. It will automatically go to the concerned jurisdiction first thing. And to get an immediate help, if your money is lost, you need to get an immediate help. For that purpose, government has created Pan-India 1930 helpline. So if you call 1930 and tell your problem that you have lost money in such a fraud, and if you could give the details of your bank account and the bank account of the conman where the money has been lost, immediately the police, cyber police, tries to stop the money which has been siphoned off. So this is the overall framework that has been provided. In this cybercrime reporting portal, there is a special provision for reporting the child abuses and crimes against the woman. They, in case if you want to inform the.
Okay, I think
Right.
Dr. Raj has got disconnected.
So ma'am, he was saying very important thing to all of us. Would you like to add something on it?
Yes, as he was rightly pointing out that crimes against children have been on the rise, and I was reading in the pandemic almost 400% rise in crimes, and there are various states which have been affected. So he's here back. I think he'll add to more.
So,
yes, sir. Please continue, sir.
Yeah. There is a special provision for reporting the CSAM material, the material which is related to sexual abuse of children and women. So there are two provisions. One can inform on that portal without naming or without disclosing his or her identity. So anonymous reporting is also available there. Because child sexual abuse is very serious offense, and sometimes children or other people may know it, but they don't want to disclose their identity. So such kind of anonymous reporting is also provided, and the action is taken on that. And every kind of online harassment that is against the woman can also be reported there. So these are the three things we can do regarding reporting at local police station. Second at National Cybercrime Reporting Portal, and third at 1930 helpline.
Okay. So any other important point or tip that you want to share with all our viewers and learners in order to create cyber safety, JAAGROOKTA, sir?
Yeah, surely. First thing is that in cyber space, there is no demarcation that who is the user. So children from the age of 5 to onwards are also on using the various applications, gaming apps, and the e-learning applications also. In that perspective, we have come to know that the various YouTube channels and various handles that are also disseminating the pornographic materials, and children don't know that these are particularly prohibited things, and the advertisements are also popping up on their videos which are very lascivious or obscene. So parents need to look into that, what their child is doing. They should activate the parental control first. Second, at school also, many learning apps are being provided by the schools, but the security of that learning applications, particularly I will quote one incident that the Zoom meetings were provided for online learning by the school during the pandemic, but they were not aptly guarded. So anyone could, with the link, could intrude into that meetings. So in such a cases, many times the criminals have intruded and played the pornographic material and also threatened the teachers. So we are investigating such a kind of cases. So in that, the school management should also focus on the issue of cyber security. They should sensitize the students also, sensitize the teacher also, and sensitize the IT department of the school, that whenever we are dealing with the children and particularly teaching and providing the applications for the teacher, cyber security aspect, particularly from children's point of view, should be taken into consideration. And third aspect is that I request the schools that they should contact their local police stations to arrange a lecture from the local police stations regarding awareness about the cyber crime, because online awareness is one part, and actually police going to the school and spending 1 hour for awareness and explaining various cyber crime cases will enlighten or sensitize the students or children more. That is my message.
Right. And dear
So,
learner,
ma'am,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
ma'am, I will leave the discussion here because I have some other urgent work. I had requested the Karnika ma'am also, so I will take your leave.
Thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much,
Thank you
sir,
for
for being
joining
here.
us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you so very much. And ma'am, let's move towards you. And rightly said by sir that, dear learners and viewers, please understand that police is for your help, and feel free to go to police anytime if you feel like you are you are in trap. And so ma'am, if we move towards you and let's take this discussion further, I would like to know more about what should school do increase awareness on cyber safety, as rightly said by the sir about the lecture, ma'am. Other
Yes,
than
so
that.
for last 22 years or more, rather, we have been, speaking to children, parents, teachers also, apart from, general cyber awareness initiatives and supporting the National Digital India Mission as well. So here it is important to emphasize that clubs which are, oriented towards spreading cyber safety awareness among children need to be, set up in various education institutions, especially schools, because right from primary level, children are nowadays using internet. And when it comes to their school libraries or other activities in school, and they're using Wi-Fi in the school, for instance, there have to be strong policies like IT policy, social media policy, and anti-bullying policy, so that children are aware what are the do's and don'ts. Often I have seen during our interactions that children don't know the boundaries. If they have a right to express themselves, we have a fundamental right to freedom of speech in the country, but we cannot abuse, another person. We have to show a respect, in that regard. So therefore, children often do out of mischief, like they'll open a fake Facebook account or some other social media account, or they would bully someone, morph a picture, send them virus-based links, or just for fun. That is something that they don't understand, that it could lead to harassment or some sort of a, trauma to the other party, other side. So even if it is a child, doing the same, and if he has a malintention, for example, he could be prosecuted. This is still a crime if done like that. But if it is not with the intention to commit a crime, it is a different scenario. However, I must say there's a POCSO law in the country, and also IT Act. So any sexual harassment or any child pornography created or published, circulated even messages like sexting, we call it, or wishing messages to cause phishing attacks, like, steal financial data or credit card information or other things. All these are criminal activities and they are punishable. So if we look at IT Act, for instance, or the sexual harassment cases, 3 years of punishment or more. In child pornography, 5 years of punishment or more. I'm talking about IT Act here. Even POCSO has a law, as a law, is a strict law. So these things don't have to be taken lightly. And in the past, we've seen a huge rise in these kind of cases. Children are entrapped by criminals on social media. They're entrapped, or targeted individually also to cause various, different kinds of harassment to them. Sometimes it is also acquaintances who might be behind this. So children often, or parents often resist, the thought that they will file a criminal case. But as Dr. Rajput was also mentioning, you can even file it in an anonymous capacity. You can keep the hidden the name of the child, the parent, the details of the child. So we have handled these cases, and even in the courts of law, we can say that these proceedings can be conducted in camera, which means not in the open court.
Right.
So the secrecy is maintained, the child is not intimidated, and he gets justice. The idea is to get access to justice. So with these words, I just feel that we need to increase cyber safety, especially in schools. They can educate parents also in PTA meetings that they can use filters, in browser or on their own home Wi-Fi. There are free tools, there are paid tools available today. Children are themselves aware, and in fact, they've started using VPNs to stop their, identity being disclosed. So they are actually much ahead in terms of knowledge, and when you compare them with the parents at times. So it is important that if you're giving for example, if you're giving a vehicle to a child at 18 to drive, he's been told the driving rules. But unfortunately, in our country, we have given them gadgets at age 8, 9. They're on the phone, they're glued to it. It's led to internet addiction, particularly during pandemic. But little do they know about cyber threats. So therefore, it is important, it is imperative, it is urgent need that as parents, as educators, and people who are working on cyber awareness, we need to spread this word to teach them etiquette, to teach them responsible use of AI. We're in the times of G20, so AI also is now in the vogue. They're doing it, they're in metaverse. So when they're using these new technologies, there have been cases where there has been exploitation on metaverse experienced by gamers. These are the new issues, which children have to deal with mentally, psychologically, and even emotionally. So we need to handhold them by giving them the right education, right ethics, and etiquette education, I think.
Exactly, very well said, ma'am. Not only students, I think our parents and guardians, they should also educate themselves because we are living in a digital era and we cannot escape ourselves by using all those technologies and devices. So, ma'am, here please let us know that how can children safeguard their privacy online, ma'am?
Their
What is the
private
need for that,
information they
ma'am?
can
Yeah.
keep private. They needn't disclose this, their real names also at times, their address, where they're located, and they can keep hidden their other information. So once you should have a positive footprint. I've been associated with NCERT for long. Now we've been talking about positive footprint. And it's important to educate the children that whatever they put on the net, it is not easy to delete. It will be duplicating so fast that once it's on social media, it's difficult to stop from going viral also. So that's a technical challenge. So why put something or why record something which you'll regret later? I have handled cases where the children have been, targeted by criminals, where they have recorded their personal pictures and they've been groomed into illegal activities like recording child pornographic clips, and then they've been asked to blackmail to send those pictures. Once they have been sent, they have been given sextortion calls and threats. So this is the kind of scenario we are faced with today as a challenge. So law is there, but little reporting happens. and if the law is there, then we need to take action. And once the conviction rate increases, the confidence in people to report, to use hotlines, to use the welfare activities and services which the government is giving, it's important even for the NCERT books, for instance, to have the education. And I think there are progressive steps being made through this platform, for instance, by even PM Vidya channel, to educate children on so many aspects of cyber safety nowadays. So, which is a very sign.
Right. And people, ma'am, do hesitate to go to the police or say something in public if they have trapped in this. Especially if they have trapped in financial fraud, they can go to the police, but rather apart from all those cyber crimes, they do not report that. Yeah.
Frauds, so many payment apps, so many QR code frauds happening these days. And children often order food or some small things on.
And it's very frequent these days. Yeah.
They are interested to give away their OTP, to give away their secret credit card information in the garb of selling coupons to win games and more coupons to play games. They have been sent malware, which has led to ransomware attacks, which has led to a lot of malware attacks, and the data inside the system is corrupted, or it will be stealing away certain sensitive data, and then blackmail follows. So these are all very rampant issues nowadays. And to address them, we have to educate them to keep certain personal information private. And if they don't want to be observed in dark room or otherwise, whatever activities they're doing, they should play safe, use anti-spyware, use antiviruses, and on a very, very regular basis maintain cyber hygiene, because that is something which we have to tell them, educate them.
Ma'am, you have used a very unique word, cyber hygiene. What exactly is that, ma'am, cyber hygiene?
Well, during pandemic, we use sanitizers, right? So, pandemic, we did that. And when we talk about online safety or cyber safety, we have to educate them. We have to tell them that what are the best practices, how we can safeguard our private information or personal information, and safeguard our systems, and have a healthy experience on cyberspace. So for that, it is important to highlight certain key issues. Like I said, don't share something which you don't want others to see. Keep your webcam and in order. Update your OS. Update your systems, whether it is any peripheral systems you're using. Use a good software. Use good antivirus and anti-malware. And as a practice, because often you will have enough in terms of network and security, even firewalls may be there, but children fall trap to social engineering and frauds. And what I mean by social engineering is they may maintain whatever hygiene possible technically, but there is an issue which arises with regard to the other aspects, that is, they get duped by criminals. They'll give away their sensitive information, photographs, for instance. That is something which is worrisome. I think Mr. Maheshwari has just joined us. So please, you may address the next question to him.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, madam.
And
Sorry
we have
just
just joined by our another expert. You are Mr. Rakesh Maheshwari. You are Group Coordinator, Cyber Law. Very warm welcome, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
And he is a Senior Director and Group Coordinator, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Sir is an excellent person, having very good theoretical knowledge and practical understanding of IT security, cyber law and project. Dear learners and viewers, if you have any query, any question related to our topic, that is cyber crimes concept and need for awareness, please feel free to connect to us. You can drop your comment in our at our YouTube channel, that is NCERT official. You have to go to the live chat box and you have to drop your comment out there. You can either call us on our telephone number, that is 8800 440 559. Either you can drop a mail at our email address, that is cybersafety@cit.nic.in, sir. And we are very eagerly wants to know from you, sir, which laws and policies assisting combating cyber crimes against children, sir? What are those?
Yeah.
Please let us know, sir.
So thanks a lot for having invited me for this particular program, and I'm very sorry that because of some international delegation I had to I got delayed and I could join only at this moment. Uh, as you mentioned, I had cyber law in the Ministry of Electronics and IT, and this ministry is the custodian of Information Technology Act 2000, which was last amended in a significant manner in 2008, and the law does provide various provisions to deal with cyber contraventions and cyber crimes. From if there is any data theft, any data loss, which results maybe because of privacy violations, maybe because of computer destruction, maybe because of malware introduction, maybe because of unauthorized password copying, done intentionally or otherwise. In all these cases, there are provisions in the law to deal with either providing for the financial penalty or the compensation, or if it has been done intentionally, then about the punishments also. Of course, the law also deals with other aspects of particularly the obscenity, the child sexual abuse material, so about pornography and about cyber terrorism as well. So there are all varieties. I would especially like to mention about digital, the information technology intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code rules 2021, which this ministry published in February 2021, and we have very recently amended these rules on 28th of October 2022. And why I am talking of these rules is that today, while almost everybody is connected on internet through the social media platforms and through other online intermediaries, it is important that the citizen in the country are safe, are secure, and there is an accountability of the platforms. And to that extent, and in order to meet this objective, these rules do provide an obligation on all the intermediary platforms, including social media intermediary platforms, that they publish their terms of usage, which must include that certain unlawful material, certain harmful material, they are liable to remove as soon as it is reported to them. The rules also do convey that for any reason, if there is a morphed image of an individual, if there is a serious privacy violation of an individual, particularly in the context of sexual contents, then these rules empower the individual concerned to either directly approach the platform or to approach the platform through any authorized representative and get these materials, such information, removed from the internet within 24 hours. The rules provide for a robust grievance redressal mechanism. Almost every big social media platform today, therefore, has to have a grievance officer here in India, an address here in India, so that any communication which is required to be made need not be made to outside India, and you are able to approach them. They are supposed to give an acknowledgement number within 24 hours and resolve your grievance within 15 days. And for certain harmful material, which if it is available, harmful material not necessarily relating to your personal, I should say, harm, but otherwise harmful or otherwise unlawful, then the new rules mandate that such information is removed within 72 hours. And in case it is not removed, or in case the person continues to be aggrieved, then we have also announced almost 3 days back, if you have seen the newspapers, the government did mention, and we came out with a notification communicating about 3 grievance appellate committees, which will be overseeing the overall grievance mechanism of such platforms in the country, and if the person continues to be aggrieved and approaches these grievance appellate committees, which will be a completely digital online platform. The platform is likely to become fully operational from 1st of March 2023, wherein any aggrieved user on internet, for whatever reason, if their grievances have not been resolved to their satisfaction by the grievance officer, that they can approach such grievance appellate committees who, through the online mechanism, and therefore there is no expenses or any fee to be paid and any lawyer to be engaged, that they should be, the citizens should be able to engage through this online mechanism, interact with the grievance appellate committees, and hopefully have their grievances resolved against such intermediary platforms, including social media intermediary platforms.
Yes.
Other than this, I like to take, any question which may be there, either specific to this cyber crime or specific to the women's safety, children's safety online, or any other issue, maybe including on privacy, which may be of interest.
Sir, as you just said, women's safety and children's safety. So, what cyber safety measures you would recommend to protect children on internet or women on internet, sir?
Yeah, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, sir. Sir, what cyber safety measures you would recommend to all our viewers and learners to protect children safety on internet, sir?
Okay, so
whether they are children or whether they are women, sir.
Right. Yeah. So first thing is being aware. So awareness is the key issue. Prevention is always better than the cure.
Right.
Detection and correction. So my first appeal to all the parents, all the children, is to be aware of what is that they are agreeing to. Never ever share your OTPs unless, of course, you have asked for a service and the person who is about to deliver the service or has just delivered the service is asking for that OTP. So you know the reason why this, because you only have initiated the activity and the delivery or the service is being made in physical. Otherwise, never ever fall into the trap. And from government side, we have, in fact, two specific projects. One, which is Information Security Education and Awareness Program, ISEA program, wherein we have a dedicated website, which is infosecawareness.in. Now, this infosecawareness.in, as of today, is available in more than 9 languages, 9 Indian languages. It is 24/7 help available through this website, and it covers all the awareness issues as are applicable to a child, to a girl child, to a parent, to teachers, to government officials, to a police personnel. So to a minor, to an adult. So all these topics, including the safety on social media, including the safety on messaging platforms. So all such, I should say, state-of-the-art topics are available. And in fact, every day there is a message, including a small video clip, which is shared on the platform. The second which I will like to mention is about the Computer Emergency Response Team, Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, which is the national nodal agency for cyber security in the country, works on a 24/7 basis and keeps issuing advisories to the citizen, specifically to the organization, specific advisories to the organizations. So any incident, if you come across any incident, even if you are, say, for an organization also, so whether you are an individual or you are an organization, if any cyber security incident happens with you, there is a toll-free number, and you can, of course, there is an email also, you can approach and report cyber security incidents. And if you have some suspicion of your machine having been infected by a virus or a bot, then this site also provides you free tools from a trusted Government of India site, wherein you can download and clean your system. So today we already have the beginning of 15 days, which is on the cyber, in fact, cleanliness, cyber, not Swachhta Pakhwada. Now, when we are talking of Swachhta Pakhwada, we are talking of Swachhta normally in the physical world, but I will like to emphasize this Swachhta in the cyber world, for which both the portals infosecawareness.in as well as CERT.in are working relentlessly with all the stakeholders in the country, be it a civil organization, government organization, or the individuals.
Very rightly said. I think Sir has put this whole perspective of what laws are protecting and how the mission really is bolstering this whole process. And it has been a pleasure working on various policies of the government which have been which have been released, and especially the one which Sir I think mentioned, 6-hour time window to respond to a cyber fraud incident to certain. I think in terms of law, we have done a lot in the country. It's really progressed in terms of legal framework in the last few years. And I think it's also important, like Sir was explaining, the contraventions are there, then there is a cybercrime. So just for the information of parents, there is a criminal remedy possible. So there is a punishment. Likewise, there is an injunction order possible from the courts. One can actually take an injunction, a restraining order. So if supposingly a clip has gone viral, or something has to be taken down, it has been put up on a website which has to be blocked, even that can be in the form of an order from the court. Then comes the contraventions. The adjudicating authority of every state has been empowered with the power to grant compensation to such victims who have, either their data has been unauthorizedly taken, extracted, or altered, or destroyed. So they have various remedies under IT Act. And often, when we talk about cyber safety practices, Sir did mention, we all discussed a few, but the most rampant one, which I have, seen a lot of children blindly just download apps, whether for educational purpose or gaming or anything else these days, and they don't look at the settings and permissions and what consent they are giving. Our country is working towards, and Sir will agree with me, PDP, we are doing, data protection law is something which is a center stage of what we have done in the last few years. We've been talking about data protection. We are strengthening the law in this quarter. So we need to educate our children that their data is precious. And when we give away the permissions, we shouldn't do it blindly. We should read what we are, allowing them to take. So if you're downloading a food app, for instance, you needn't give permission to your camera or video reel or your gallery, photo gallery or contacts. It's not necessary to avail that service. So, and always just give them, location consent also only while using the app, because they needn't know where you are at 24/7 when you're not using the app.
But
So
ma'am,
that's something.
right now, as you are talking about the consent, the app is asking for your camera and for your other details. But if a person deny that, all the consents, then I guess the person is not able to use that app. In that situation, what the students and other person is supposed to do?
Yeah, but that's your right. Ultimately, how much you're able to safeguard yourself, whether it's a credible app, you can check reviews and be very careful on what apps exist. Even the ministry has worked and has been working on various accountability measures for various platforms, including apps and different platforms. So if, for instance, for loan apps, you've seen RBI has come up with regulations. So there were a lot of cases which we handled during this time when fake loan app scams were happening, and people have been there have been news reports all across explaining what kind of rackets have prevailed in this time period. So it's important, therefore, to maintain vigilance, to be on the alert when we are using internet. And while we have laws in the country, as Sir has also explained, that where we have all these laws, the government is doing so much in terms of protecting children and awareness in terms of spreading cyber safety, hygiene, and awareness. We need to be constantly on it. It's not something that is a one-time exercise, because technology is changing every day. There are new issues every day. So we have to not only update and be abreast of our laws and technology, but also meet with those challenges. Yesterday we were talking about chat gpt, how chat gpt is actually invading the education space, and there have been in US and other countries, schools, educational institutions looking at banning chat gpt, or dissuading chat gpt from being actively being used. So I have this view that it shouldn't be banned, because it's something like technology and it has huge benefits. But yes, we need to encourage responsible use of AI. As even in G20, we're discussing accountability, sustainable development. We're talking about transparency, inclusion, and growth. So if we are talking about those terms, and we are taking as a world leader, India is now emerging in this space as well. So the right course of action, as per my view, is that we need to encourage responsible use of technology, and dissuade people, and say that one needs to combat all kinds of cyber crimes affecting children or even otherwise.
Okay. Yes, Ram, and responsible use of technology is very well needed, the need of the era. Ma'am, here I just wanted to ask you about the electronic evidence. Can electronic evidence be produced in cyber crime cases?
Yes, of course. We often use electronic evidence, whether it is forensic reports of laptops or mobile phones, or email forensics, network forensics, and we present it. There's a method of collection. There's a method of preserving it and producing it in the court of law. Either you can produce your original device, or you can produce a Section 65B certificate along with the printout of the same. So that makes it, admissible. As in simple terms, you can produce that evidence in the court of law. During examination, cross-examination, it is then looked into whether it's authentic or it's tampered. But there are clear forensic tools, which have accountability, so that we can prove that this is not tampered evidence. So I must let the parents know, or teachers know, whoever is watching this program today, that even the SMSs or even video or any kind of posts which have been put on the social media are something that we can produce as evidence to explain or argue a case.
Right. So we are in a digital era, and technology is evolving itself day by day, and so does the fraudster as well. So, sir, what would be your concluding remark for this session, sir? To all our viewers, whether they are students, whether they are teachers or parents, sir.
Yeah. So I will make one request to all the students, teachers, as well as parents. In fact, all the schools, besides what government is doing, various, I should say, awareness programs being run by NGOs. So in addition to whatever is being done, I have a small, simple proposition to make, that almost every month we have the provisions in school, the parent-teachers meeting. And it is a fact that children are much more aware as of today with respect to the usage of applications, but may not be fully aware of the cyber threats that are looming along with it. So one thing which can be done, and the parents of course may not be knowing much of the things. What probably can be done is that while the meetings teachers meet, there should also be a parallel session and parallel sessions, let's say for about half an hour, for the parents. So when they come to the school, they can as well attend half an hour free kind of a program on, it can be on cyber hygiene, it can be on cyber security, it can be on mobile security, it can be on certain do's and don'ts. So every time the topics can change, the program can continue from 8 o'clock till 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock till such time the school is open, the parent-teacher meeting option is available, and every half an hour and a new batch joins in. So that can be done for the parents through the facility of schools to within the schools itself, the students will always learn from their peers in a much better way. So why don't we create a system of cyber volunteers, or maybe create some digital well-being clubs, and any problem which happens with anyone, at least in an anonymous manner, so there can always be a way to anonymously convey it, reach out to these volunteers in the school and see, and of course there can always be a mentorship by the concerned teachers to see as to how, one, they create the awareness amongst their peers, and two, in case something wrong happens, as to how and how fast can the remedial actions be initiated. So it's learning by sharing of experiences rather than creating psychological and huge psychological pressure on the impacted person, impacted student, impacted parent, or impacted teacher.
Right.
I agree with sir on this.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
one more thing, that we should have counselors, in the school as well, who can, discuss any kind of issues with the children if they have encountered anything uncomfortable on the net or otherwise. And I also, want to encourage that the schools need to have a robust IT policy, IT social media policy, and keep their networks secure. That is from the technical standpoint. But what about rules and regulations? So that's something which in the work from home times, things have changed a lot. We still have hybrid ways of even, giving exams these days. There are other mechanisms, children get into a lot of activities which are not clearly prohibited. So, it's something that we have to give a clear mandate, what is supposed to be done, what is not supposed to be done. So that needs to be addressed as well. And in terms of, yes, trainings, as sir rightly said, this is the need of the hour. Education, training, and cyber safety is something that goes about, for every stakeholder is important today.
Ma'am, any other important tip that you want to give to all our viewers and learners about cyber safety and awareness in a nutshell?
Yes, when downloading apps, you have to be, as I said, very careful of what you're downloading, what permissions you are giving, and engage and write about cyber safety. Learn from various resources. They can be shared, about how they can maintain cyber hygiene. Tell them not to post something that they'll regret later. These are some best practices. But yes, it is important to keep the communication live. Often children get into depression and they don't discuss their problems. So either with the teachers or with the parent, they need to keep the lines open, and even parents and teachers need to be watchful of their behavior if they've seen a dip in the performance of the child, or otherwise, find the child uncomfortable in any way. So to handhold this whole, process of detoxing is also important. So encouraging them to keep their gadgets away for certain time in the day, especially during dinner time. I've seen parents complain a lot about children not spending any time away from gadgets. So that's something which is very, very important, that we should encourage, all from all angles, when we say a healthy environment for children, and cyberspace one area, but even otherwise, from the behavioral standpoint, I've interacted with doctors' names or other entities working on children welfare as well. And during the last few years, we've seen a huge trend and a huge rise of internet addiction. So that needs to be addressed at every level as well.
Right. So we can say there are so many platforms for our help, for policy. There are laws, there are policies for all our help. So we just need to approach them rightly, and we just need to approach them very friendly, and we should not hesitate to ask for help, right?
And if there's any problem, please report it. As Dr. Bal Singh Rajput also pointed out, there are police zero FIR possible nowadays. So, and keep your identity anonymous, but engage a legal expert to help you. Take the forensics of an electronic evidence. Use that to reach out to who has actually committed the crime, and to safeguard further damage. So all these things are important, and the resources are available for the same.
Yes, and as we are running very short of time, we have to wrap up this session. But thank you so very much, Karnika ma'am and Rakesh sir, for being with us and for all your valuable information and tips. Thank you so very much, ma'am and sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maheshwari.
Thank you,
Thanks a
sir.
lot,
Thank you.
particularly Karnika Madam ji. I mean, having
Thank you so much, Maheshwari.
enabled us.
Your words have been invaluable. So we really look forward to having more interactions with you.
Sure, and pleasure is all ours. And dear learners and viewers, if you want to ask, if you want to explore more about all our Cyber Jagrukta Divas session, you have to visit our website, that is www.cret.nic.in/tfcc.php. And with this, I have to wrap up this session here only. Next one is Sahyog, but before that, let me give you some very important piece of information about G20's presidency. We are actually very proud that India assumed the G20 presidency and will convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in 2023. A nation that deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 Summit would be a watershed moment in her history as it seeks to play an important role by finding pragmatic global solution for the well-being of all, and in doing so manifests the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or we can say the whole world is one family. With that, me, Renu Bhatt, is taking your leave. You stay tuned with eVidya channels and NCERT official YouTube channel for more informative program. Next one is Sahyog. Me, Renu Bhatt, is taking your leave. Namaskar.